The Oakland Raiders will visit the Jacksonville Jaguars in Week 7 NFL action. Situational NFL bettors have been burned by the Oakland Raiders this season, as the Raiders really got the shaft from the NFL schedule makers. They already have taken long trips to New Orleans, Nashville, and Baltimore, and they're making another long trek this weekend to take on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Oakland is 3-0 on the road this season, and Jacksonville is coming off an incredibly rare road win. Early indications are that the Raiders could very well close as a road favorite here, but for the time being, the Jacksonville Jaguars are still a slight favorite at home. The Oakland Raiders are 4-2 straight up and 3-3 against the number on the season. All three of their against the spread wins have come on the road, and they could be favored on the road for the second time. Another interesting storyline is that Jack Del Rio gets a crack at his former team here. The Raiders had 3 straight wins, and then they ran into the Kansas City Chiefs. But this is one of the NFL's top offensive squads. Derek Carr has thrown for 1,608 yards on 227 attempts, with 12 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. Latavius Murray has 40 catches for 172 yards this season, but Jalen Richard has 29 for 183 yards, and DeAndre Washington has 42 carries for 219 yards. Amari Cooper is the stuff that we expected coming out of Alabama, with 36 catches for 585 yards and 10 plays of 20 yards or more. Michael Crabtree has caught 31 of 48 targets for 365 yards. The Raiders are 7th in total yards and have only turned the ball over 5 times. As good as Oakland's offense is, the defense has been that bad or worse. Oakland has given up 2,669 yards, and they have managed to do that while having 10 takeaways. Opponents have scored 40.7% of their possessions, and they've made it look easy. Only Tampa Bay has allowed more yards per catch than Oakland, as the Raiders have allowed 13.4 yards per catch. The Raiders have allowed nearly 313 passing yards per game. To make matters worse, Oakland's run defense is simply awful. The Jacksonville Jaguars are 2-3 straight up and 2-1 against the spread. Gus Bradley has never beaten a team that has finished with a winning record during his tenure in Jacksonville. That's a pretty devastating trend heading into this matchup. Things are pretty much the opposite for the Jacksonville Jaguars, as their offense is terrible, but their defense is excellent. The Jaguars have only played 5 games, but they are 31st in total yards with just 1,600. Blake Bortles continues to make bad decisions with the football. He's been sacked 14 times and he's thrown 7 interceptions. He does have 8 touchdown passes and 1 rushing touchdown, but Bortles' lack of development will be a root cause of Gus Bradley's firing at some point this season. The Jaguars also cannot run the football. They have averaged 3.3 yards per carry. TJ Yeldon hasn't found any holes, and Jacksonville's only chunk play in the running game has been a Bortles scramble. Allen Hurns and Allen Robinson are having decent seasons when Bortles can get them the ball, but this is a bad offense overall. Jacksonville's defense, however, has been very strong. They've allowed 64.7% completion rate, but they've done a phenomenal job of limiting big plays. Opponents are only averaging 9.5 yards per catch, the lowest mark in the NFL, and only have 391 yards after the catch. The run defense has held the opposition to just 3.8 yards per carry on the season. Jacksonville had 13 sacks, and they've been a great defense while only forcing 5 turnovers. Dante Fowler Jr. and Yannick Ngakoue have combined for 6 sacks, an interception, and 3 forced fumbles. So that will be the matchup to watch in this game. At this number, you might as well take the moneyline gamble on the Raiders at a better price. The Raiders have been very solid away from home for whatever reason. Long travel has not fazed them yet. It's always tough to decide whether to back the offense or the defense in these type of games. In this situation, Oakland's offense is so powerful that they will dictate the game and may be able to get some short fields since they have forced turnovers, and Jacksonville, particularly Blake Bortles, is susceptible to them. Our pick and prediction is to take the Oakland Raiders. For our pick and prediction on this game and every other game this week, and a wealth of free stats and information, check out bangthebook.com.